I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. I know this is a little unusual, opposed to past years. We've had some changes, good and bad. This is not going to be one of my usual quick. We're going to go through a few things. I think what I'd like to do is we'll go through some of the each departments. Some have changes from committees. We'll work on some of those, and then we'll move forwards from there. I think I'd like to start off with, you can start off with the committee changes. We've had some within this past week with committees. We have some changes with search and rescue. The original was 6,000. We've gone to 7,000 on that. Can we have some a little information on that?
I don't think they're here, but I
Okay.
speak to some of that piece. They have had some additional. They're bringing in some new people, so it costs them money for textbooks, which has increased somewhat. They also have incorporated a dog into the system now, and it needs to be certified, so there's some additional funding for that. I think their original request was 6,750, and I think they moved it to 7,000. So it's just some additional fees that they didn't have normally. They do some fundraising for the program, but they definitely have some additional needs. They also need a couple radios into their system that we're going to look at trying to do that Homeland Security funding for them, because they're quite expensive, but any additional funding that you can give them, they certainly need. They have increased their the usage, I'll say. They're up to 69 searches this year alone, and they were at 60 last year at this time, and we still have a couple months left. So there's that piece up from back in 2020 when it was only like 34 search and rescues. We've also been able to incorporate a drone into their program. One of their members has a drone. That helped save on some resources that they've had to use or deploy in personnel where they can use the drone and those capabilities. The Sheriff's Department's also helping that too. So they were just looking for a little additional funding to cover some of the additional costs. If you have any additional questions, I'm happy.
No, that's good. That's good. It's just looking to see what the purposes are, and it all makes sense. Just a little bit more of an explanation here, because yes, sir.
It's the canine that one of the deputies trained himself,
Yep,
right?
training,
And then wants it to be used for the rescue team.
Yes.
It's already being used for the rescue team?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And
Just he has to go through some certification,
Yeah.
and that has some cost to it as well.
Okay.
No, it was already, these are already done through committee. We're going to move them through as a block as we okay. Terry, you've got a couple changes here.
Yep.
Can you give me just a quick overview on them?
Well, I had a part-time position in the records retention, as a records retention clerk in the records management portion of my budget. I've actually asked the committee at the time to cut that position because with our new computer software for the records management side of the office, we won't be at the point where we will be doing back scanning for at least 2 to 3 years probably, because the other departments have enough work for us. keep up with right now, and that part-time position will be useless, depending on the department's DSS, help all the way over. They're gonna have to have their own scanning to get us started. So that's gonna have to wait. And then the other one was just a reduction in the social security to go along with the donations.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Do we have anybody here from the sheriff's department? Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman, that was discussed at public safety though. I'd like to add that this is part of our ongoing attempts to work on our DSS situation on investigator security and things like that. So, excellent. So I need just real quick. There we go. Fire advisory. Yeah.
I don't think Shane can be here today.
Okay.
Sorry, budget neutral? I don't know.
What's, do you know what's going on with this fire advisory?
The change.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the fire school is doing so well that it was proposed to increase their revenue by 14,000.
Okay. Health. We have a couple changes from committee.
This one is reclassification of a typist to senior typist. It's in our early intervention division. The staff job duties have changed and increased in responsibility, and the total net cost change would be $2,838.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Social services. You have,
That was correcting an error.
that was correct, there was an error correction? Okay, thank you. Very good. Office for the Aging. This was,
Okay, this was a revenue that we had to correct in the, from the initial request of 108,000. That ended up putting us in the right direction, but we have a change after that we're going to have to make that kind of reverses that, but we'll still be okay.
okay, very good. Planning. No planning?
I don't know, Tim had some things, but I wasn't at that meeting.
Okay. Reduced ARPA revenue due to change in needs.
I can speak to it, Rich, too.
Sure.
The retirement changed the need, so we reduced the revenue that was needed for that.
Very good. Okay, I would accept a motion to, or I'm looking for a motion to accept the committee changes as they are.
I'll second.
So I got a first by legislator Walpole, second by legislator House. Any further discussion on this? All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Carries. Thank you. Now we here have to make a few changes. We've got a couple from the treasurer's office. This is a reclass, and in the reclass we have Social Security. Kevin, would you like to speak on that?
Yeah, actually, yep, I mean, we're still struggling trying to find some bodies. We actually found a person that currently is working in the office that's actually stepped up their skill set's a lot more than we thought. So looking for an increase from a principal clerk to a principal account clerk, which is about $4,000 all said and done.
Okay.
So
I'll
appreciate that support.
I'll look for motion. Got a first by legislator Walpole, second by legislator Bowles. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. Let's see. Yes, the Office for the Aging, we have to make an amendment on that. Basically because there was a clerical error.
Yes, if you go to page 159 in your budget, I'll show you exactly what happened. Near the bottom, you will see the revenue line, $1.5 million. right there, next to that list, 1.567. The line above that, the unmet needs amount, 254, was inadvertently counted in that 1.56 million. So, we'd like to have a motion to reduce that 467720 line by $254,108, just so that revenue is not counted twice.
I'll make the motion. I got a first by legislator Twist, second by legislator House. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Carries, thank you. Then we have to make a change, in the stop loss insurance. Julie?
So we put out to bid our stop loss carrier, and it came back with a lower amount. So I need to decrease the stop loss insurance line by $67,784. And that in turn also changes my interfund transfer account. So I have those numbers. So the stop loss insurance should be $1,162,216. And then the interfund transfer account should be $15,309,806.
Okay, so I need, very good. Legislator Walpole, second by legislator Twist. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay.
Chairman, we do have one more change that Veronica is getting. Unfortunately, it goes in the right direction. There was one item left out of the committee list. He is getting it now. If you need it reduced to writing, otherwise, there was change made to page 136 in the social services budget. In the federal ARPA line, the committee changed it from 77,400 in revenue to 104,152. That was approved by the Human Services Committee. If you want to accept that change, it's 26,000 to the good on the levy.
First by legislator Walpole, second by legislator Holtz. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. Thank you. Okay, so at this time, we've gone through the committee changes and department additional requests. I would look for a motion to move this budget to the full legislature for a for the draft. Correct?
I make a motion.
I have a first by legislator Walpole, second by legislator Lockwood. Any further discussion on this?
Just
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries, thank you. I'd like to turn over to the county administrator for a brief overview of where we're at and with the changes and everything as this draft goes forward.
Okay. Thank you. And again, thank you to the legislators and the committee on the work done on the budget so far. With the committee changes and this and this committee's changes, the real property tax levy is 47 million. We are still $230,000 below the New York State tax cap. That's close. And we do have some things that could still come to us to change One item is in late November, we usually get the final number on our liability insurance. We also are still calculating community college costs. They come in late often and from the colleges. Right now, that number looks good, but we also know that the state is increasing those tuitions for next year. We also did have, just in case you saw it, there was a headline last week that workers' comp rates are going down in the state. We have asked our third-party administrators to take a look at that. They've recommended no changes in our current budget right now because they can't predict how those state rates might affect it. So with that, we are very close to the tax cap. I would recommend that we continue having the waiver on the agenda in case we need it, so you can make that decision December 14th regarding whether we need to go over it. Fund balance, we do expect to build some off of the sales tax this year and some vacancies. I'll be bringing, we do need to use some of that to bolster our reserves. And we have a couple of big capital projects out there that we may need some of that. Planned use through the end of the year should bring our, including bolstering our reserves, should bring our fund balance to about 24 before anything from this year is added to it. That's our back of the napkin estimate by me.
So at this current juncture, our generic tax rate would be?
$5.70 per thousand. That's down from $6.19. That's about a 7.75% decrease.
Okay. And the only other thing I would like to contribute, we've had some increase in growth within the county to offset some of the costs that New York State has held back. Because we've been getting a lot of questions, how are we going to cover these extra mandates that have been put on us, or the withholdings? So I kind of wanted everybody to know how we were able to get there with the offsets.
A good chunk of it was sales taxes holding strong, so we're able to increase our sales tax revenue. We're also paying for new initiatives that have a return on investment using American Rescue Plan funds on a drawdown plan through 26 so that they don't impact taxpayers in an enormous way. And a variety of other small adjustments, cuts, revenues that we were able to compensate for a lot of those increases, but not all. I mean, the levy is up a little bit, but with the increased valuation of the county, we're able to lower the generic tax rate.
Very good. And last, before I look for the appropriate motion, I want to thank all the department heads who got with Bill, got with legislators to work this budget to the best of their ability. So we'll come out at least below the tax cap. I mean, it's a hard procedure, and I wanted to thank everybody in the room, Veronica and Phil and all the department heads. So having said that, I will look for the appropriate motion. I have a first by legislator Walpole, second by legislator Twist. All in favor? Any opposed? Carries. Thank you very much, everybody.